Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's summer skincare webinar with Tonya Meisenbach, aka Burn Beauty 2018. So my name is Rachel, and I am a burn survivor. I'm also the marketing lead here at Phoenix Society for Burn Survivors. And thank you to everyone for joining us for part 2 of our summer webinar series. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Tonya on. Let me read her quick bio. And just a reminder, tonight's webinar is live. We're live streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So as questions come up or you have thoughts, comments, other suggestions on skincare products, leave those in the comments below. We want to hear from you. So as I mentioned, tonight's guest is Tonya Meisenbach, better known as Burn Beauty 2018. She is a wife, mother of 2 adult children, and a luminary currently living in Atlanta, Georgia. Formerly a paralegal and realtor, Tonya has always enjoyed helping and elevating others. After being burned over 30% of her upper body and almost losing the battle, nothing has changed. She turned her pain into passion, and although Tonya's methodology is different, the end goal remains the same: elevating others. Tonya now uses hair, makeup, tutorials, and social media to help inspire other burn survivors in their recovery. She wants all survivors to understand that their wounds will heal and that with the right mindset, they can accomplish anything and overcome any obstacle thrown in their path. So thank you so much, Tonya, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm just sitting and smiling. I'm so excited to be here. I haven't done a live stream in a couple of months, which is crazy. So I'm really excited to be here, and I hope everyone come on and watch. We're going to do some skincare.
I'm so excited. Crystal's already in the comments saying hello and good. Yeah, good evening from Oklahoma. She's so excited to watch live. Happy summer, everyone.
Hey, Crystal, happy summer. I don't know what level of ridiculous hot it is in Georgia today, but yesterday it was 92, and I believe the real feel was 99 with the humidity that we have here. So as a burn survivor, that is really challenging. You know, I have 35% skin grafts, and that means that 35% of me is like malfunctioning. The air condition is broken. It just doesn't work. So really, heat control, sun protection, and skincare are all one big thing for a burn survivor. You know, you can't do one without the other. And I find, you know, as much as I love to wear makeup, I've got to have a really good SPF on my face. So I've even been doing my foundation a little bit differently for summer. I'll show you here in a moment. I decided to come on without makeup so I could actually show you how we do it. I'm not going to do a full face of makeup, but I can show you the skincare prep and the foundation, because just mixing a little bit of foundation in with a tinted moisturizer with an SPF is the best coverage and protection that I have found. And this is really my first summer where I'm actually getting out a lot. I was burned in December 2018, and I got out, but I didn't learn to drive until last year. I was just thinking about that earlier today. So I wasn't really doing a lot of time in the sun. Now I'm purposefully not doing a lot of time in the sun. I'm doing things in the evening, and I'm protecting myself. So without further ado, I'm going to put my eyelashes on because it'd be silly to do skincare without them. On a serious note, though, if you don't have lashes, they really do something. They protect your eyes from dust and from germs. Just
Hmm.
like,
They're
you
more
know,
than just aesthetics.
they are more than just aesthetics, even though my worries are all aesthetic, right? That's why I was never concerned about not having them except for that. So I always like to
Hmm.
start. I thought we talk about like the ways that we do protect our skin, and not all of it is the skincare products. Sometimes it is clothing that.
Hmm.
And it doesn't really have to be the UPF protective clothing. Sometimes it's just a choice of clothing. Dark colors that actually work better than light. And you know, growing up, my grandma always said, "No, that don't wear black because I always wear black. Don't wear black. That attracts all the sun. You're gonna be hot." Maybe so, but dark colors work better for
Hmm.
allow for blocking the UVA and UVB rays, and so do thicker fabric. So if you're not in the market to spend extra money on clothing with the UPF factor, which
Hmm.
also might not be the most stylish. It depends on what you're looking for. Um, I've seen a lot of fishing shirts and outdoors things
Yeah,
that are cute. But day to day, if you wear a heavier fabric, if you wear denim, if you wear a tight knit jacket, that's going to give you sun protection. However, you are going to be hot. So that's
hmm,
what I'm trying to figure out how to balance. And you know, you and I
yep.
were talking earlier. I'm just going to put my lash on, y'all. I've had the glue on it and it's just laying down getting tacky. So eyelashes are easy too. If you just let the glue get tacky, they just stick.
Practice makes perfect with
A
those
lot of
two.
practice. I find you get a lot better at it when you have to do it every day. Now, right now it's stuck though. Do you see how well it's stuck?
Hmm.
You get it in the wrong spot. It's sticking almost like a magnet because the glue. So we'll straighten it all up as we talk. But Rachel and I were just speaking about, you know, the staying out of the sun, the clothing, and the different methods combining different things. Um, for me, it's always a mix of skincare and
Hmm.
going out later in the evening, and then maybe the protective clothing, um, or hats, which I have as well. And I feel like, even though there's no data, that it has helped my skin a lot. This is all my personal experience, y'all, because I do makeup, but I'm not an esthetician.
Hmm.
However, there's not a lot of people
Yep,
with a fully grafted face that are, you know, practicing doing makeup, trying the skincare. So we kind of have to help each other as we try new
definitely.
things. In the burn community, we have to just share and then always ask your doctor, of course.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, that's what we were chatting about this a little bit before we came on live here, that
yeah.
obviously we're going to go through a bunch of different products that Tanya uses that work really well for her, that may be a great solution for you, but definitely we recommend always connecting with your burn care team or even your family doctor if you have questions, or just to
Always.
make sure that the products you're using are safe, especially if you're someone with newer burns. I can't stress that enough.
Yes, and I do want to stress that when I did have, pardon me, newer burns, I was just using cocoa butter because that's what was recommended to me
Hmm.
by the hospital that I was at. Sometimes they're going to recommend Aquaphor. It just depends on your hospital. But that and compression, if you're
Yep.
still in that first year, that first period where the doctors are telling you that you need compression, cocoa butter, Aquaphor, whatever they're telling you, then that's what you need to do. And I
Hmm.
really did not, I can't speak to adding anything else to that skincare because I just did what I was told. And then
Hmm.
as I felt that my skin was healing, um, I started to look into new products. It was during the pandemic, so I couldn't get a lot of feedback. You know, I couldn't, you could message the doctor. You couldn't go in for appointments at the time because you would get sick. You couldn't go near the hospital.
Hmm.
So I would kind of ask questions like, hey, can I use this? collagen cream, or can I try a night cream or a moisturizer? Yeah, yeah, yeah. If my answer is, I got approved, but you do need to do that. Um, and I started out with just understanding toners and such. So my favorite toner, which I didn't put on the list yet, is just pure rose water. And I buy it in a big bottle on Amazon. I'll give you a link, and I put it in my own little bottle. I have this little bottle set, and you just spray your face with it. And this is for anyone because first of all, it's refreshing as all goodness. It really is. It
Feels
smells
good.
good. It's refreshing, and it preps your skin for whatever you're about to put on it next. Right now, I'm about to straighten up my lash and put my hair up so we don't have to do that all the time. But I let it sink in or rub it in and just let it absorb, because toner does exactly that. It helps you absorb all the ingredients that you want to take in.
Hmm.
I always follow toner with any serum. And this is the recommended order, of application of products. So you would start with your toner, and you would use any serum that you'd like to use. I'm
And
going to
and
do one.
just Yeah, no, I was just gonna say too, for those listening, make sure you're signed up for our summer webinar updates and reminders at phoenix-society.org/summer. I have that brought up on the screen right now. Because after tonight's episode or webinar, we will be sending out a list of all the products Tonya mentions, plus I'm sure even more. So all of those links will be included. So like I said, make sure you're signed up to get that email list after. And even if you are tuning in, maybe you can't join us live, always send us a message. We'll make sure you get Tanya's list, because I already started looking through it. And hey, if you're listening today, it's Prime Day still. Some of these may be
It
on
is
Prime
Prime.
Day. You can take advantage.
Some of them are on Prime Day. There is one item that I absolutely love, which is red light therapy mask. Um, you know, it helps increase collagen production. I'm looking for a
Mhm.
gel right now. It increases collagen production, and it just seems to work so well. For me, it's made a big difference in the past few months. So the red light therapy gel mask is on sale. I just noticed that. Highly recommend that. And then there's one more thing that's not an Amazon item, but it is this microcurrent device. And I don't think this has been studied on burn survivors, or I don't know what it's
It
been
probably
studied.
hasn't. Let's be honest.
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to be polite, but yeah, no. This is why I get so much skincare, y'all. I feel
Hmm.
like they're sending it to me pardon me, like, here, try that. Tell us what you
Well,
think.
Crystal left here a comment too. She said she's so grateful for all your tips, and she's just getting to the point of trying makeup and skincare products. So you've been
Love
helping
it.
her out. And Amber here too is she's just so excited to be here, and we're excited to
Is
have you
Amber,
watching.
Amber?
A different Amber,
Different Amber.
Amber Heard, yes, but Amber, all the Ambers are amazing. We love them all.
Yeah, I love all the Ambers. But I was thinking of Amber Baby. So I'm going to let
Yes.
my eyelash get dry. It definitely, I'm put on a very realistic kind of lash. It's kind of not sticking. You're going to run into that sometimes. Because of, if you've had a facial reconstruction, sometimes things just aren't the way, I don't want to say normal, but you know what I mean.
They
The way
don't
they were
lay
before,
flat and normal.
right?
Yes.
So I'm going to let it dry. And if you put your lashes on, you can see that skin underneath. That's why we tight line with eyeliner. So I'll show you.
Mm.
But right now, I'm going to pull my hair up because I want to use the microcurrent device. And I feel like this is something that I really stumbled into because it was offered to me by the manufacturer, which is New Ovolus. It's going to be on the list. NUO. Gosh, I'm sorry. If I drop that one more time, will y'all love me? New Ovolus Mini. Um, and it's changed a lot for me. If you've seen me do a makeup tutorial or live, I always start with it. And that's for a reason. It's because I want to use it every day. It has really taken away a lot of the under eye puffiness
Mm.
that I have. And my under eye puffiness is from the facial reconstruction. It's not being tired. It's not dehydration. It's just the way skin grafts behave sometimes after the
Mm-hmm.
lower, nothing wrong, nothing there, but what do you do, right? It wasn't this way to begin with. And it's made a huge difference. It has also helped my mouth. I don't, I can't make any kind of claims about it. I'm going to tell you what happened for
Yep.
me. And that is my skin grafts feel a lot looser, a lot more, I forget the
Like
word, a lot um, elastic,
elastic
malleable,
or
uh,
elasticity.
yeah, like, what's the, y'all know I forget words. It didn't help for that. So I use that. I use it with a conductive gel. It comes with one. Um, but if you need to buy another one, there's a very inexpensive one because I want to be aware of price points too. There is
Mm-hmm.
skincare on every price point that can work for us. This is just a gel primer. It has hyaluronic acid and niacinamide, but it also has a touch of gold, and that helps the microcurrent. The metal conducts
Mm.
the current. Now, is it scary? No, I don't feel
I
it
was gonna
on
say
my.
it's a little scary.
It's scary, but I don't feel it. Does someone without skin grafts feel it? You bet. I tested it on my caretaker and she felt it. It's not painful, but I mean, I don't feel it at all. And when you turn it up high for someone else, they're going to feel it. But just using this daily, and I'm not going to do the whole thing, we're going to kind of keep it going, but an upward motion with the microcurrent, and I'm always sure to get right under that eye and right by my mouth. And it has helped me with things that I didn't realize it would help me with. Or let me just say, I've developed as using it where I can actually drink through a straw with my lips instead of, I don't know if any of you use the roof of your mouth and your tongue to use a straw. If you can relate to that with me, um, then you understand what I'm saying. It helps. It really has helped my skin. People have commented, and I thought, sometimes you think it's your imagination, but people were like, "What are you doing different? You look fabulous." And it was this little thing. It does have a little red light in it. I don't think that the red light in the new Ovilus is actually. Um, I don't think it's the important part of the device. I think it's all
Mm-hmm.
about the microcurrent. And for red light, I use another entire mask that I'm not going to get out. But if you check my social media, I just tagged it today because I saw it was on sale. But a full mask that helps. And this is for men and women. You don't.
Mm-hmm.
This is not skincare does not belong to male, female, or I don't
Yep.
know anyone. It's for everyone. Skincare is everyone,
Mm-hmm.
and it
And
doesn't matter how old
yep. I was
you
just gonna
are.
say that too. It's really important to start whenever.
Early.
Start early, and if you didn't start early, start today or start tomorrow. Because the sooner you start, the better
It
one
is.
your skin will feel, but it'll, when you're young, you're like, oh, my skin looks fine. I don't have wrinkles yet, but you can do
Right.
so much to be preventative so
You
that they
need
don't come
to.
until you're even later.
And that's what we need to think about is burn survivors too,
Hmm.
right? It might be that we're not bothered by, and for me, I'd be like, oh, that doesn't really bother me, the skin, the skull, whatever. But if if you're using skincare that um, is can improve that situation, even if it's not something that's problematic for me, it's always been a good decision to go with it because a lot of the things I do are not for aesthetics.
Hmm.
They are for quality of life and range of motion. And, just I love that I can drink through a straw now. That's amazing. So
That is
start as soon as
amazing.
you can. Yeah, that's
Yep.
absolutely amazing. I haven't been able to show my doctors yet. I didn't notice, except one of my friends is a speech therapist, and she would watch me live, and she was like, your mouth is working a lot better.
That's
And
amazing.
it's completely amazing. So look how much of a glow we have just from
Hmm.
the hyaluronic acid gel. I'll tell y'all what. Let me tell you a little bit of my story so you understand that the grafts. were done in between December and February of 2018. And they had to do my face twice. All the skin is from my lower body. I had a rejection of my grafts due to
Mm,
um, the herpes virus. If you're a burn survivor, you get it. It's not a good thing. It will activate and you don't even know it's in your body. But I think 80 or 90% of people, it's in your body. And you find out if you injure your face. So I was really, really concerned about this texture. And this is
mhm,
just a general skin graft texture. But keep in mind that my facial skin was exactly the same. It wasn't
mhm.
done any differently. It had this same, I don't know if y'all can see that. The texture from, I don't know exactly what it's called, but I know there's a machine that's used
Yeah,
to,
I
to
know
stretch the
exactly.
skin.
We're not
Yeah,
doctors here, but
we
we
don't
know
have
what
the
you're talking
doctors.
about.
The skin graft stretch the skin machine leaves a pattern, and that pattern is gone. And
Mhm,
I will tell you flat out, it is accidentally gone. I had no idea what I was doing, but I wanted to wear makeup, and I wanted to wear makeup because of the discoloration that I was experiencing. And I thought that I would get less stares. I mean, if you've been there, you understand what I'm saying. I just didn't, whatever my head is thinking at the time, I just wanted, the main thing was to balance the skin tone. And so I chose Dermablend Foundation, which I recommend to any of
mhm,
you that are starting out with any kind of skin conditions, or even if you're not, it's good for everyone, but
mhm,
particularly if you have hyperpigmentation or or texture, it works great. The cover cream. And I started using that, and it has niacinamide in it, which brightens and smooths. I didn't know what niacinamide was because prior to being burned, I didn't do that type of skincare. I always thought that moisturizers would break me out. So I didn't really do it. Well, moisturizers don't break you out. That if they are
You
breaking you out, it's the
need a different
wrong
one.
moisturizer, right? And they shouldn't. You have to think about it. It has to be water based because moisture is water. It is not oil. Oil does not moisturize your skin. So if you're using
Mhm,
something oily or a cocoa butter, that is not moisture. That is softening. And really, it's a barrier to protect your skin from germs. And that's why
mhm,
we use it as burn survivors, the Aquaphor, the cocoa butter. It's softening, but it's also creating a protective barrier that our skin doesn't have in that moment. It's giving it a chance
mhm.
to heal so we can avoid infection. So all of those things are fine, but even if that bothered you and you probably I didn't get any pimples. I don't even know if that happens on a skin
Well,
graft.
I was gonna ask you because we actually had a question here from Sarah. She said she's been getting more pimples just below her skin graft, and she was curious if you had
Oh,
any suggestions for a gentle face cleaner.
yeah, just below your skin graft, I
Mhm,
recommend silky rinse. And I
mhm,
didn't, it's not on the list yet, but we're going to put these things on the list as I talk about them because I have so many products. It is silky rinse, and it is by, I'm going to look it up. I get it on Amazon. Silkie rinse. And it is just a really gentle cleanser with hyaluronic acid in it. So that's going to give you the moisture that you need without any type of oil. And I would definitely recommend that. I would also recommend, again, not an esthetician, but here's what I hear is blue light therapy is very good for um, any kind of acne because I think it's a matter of bacteria. Ask your doctor about it. And our skin grafts don't have bacteria on them, so I can imagine why the rash is right below the graft because it can't live up here. So there's too much bacteria here. So I would just keep that, for me, I would keep it really clean and talk to the doctor or dermatologist. Silky Rinse is my favorite gentle face wash. I love it so much that I keep it one in my shower and one on my sink as if it's like such a great distance to get it, but I love it enough to keep it both places. I'll look it up. Silkie rinse, and you can look for it on Amazon. It's a
Yep.
really good
Yep.
product. You actually use it. You can put it on your face without
Hmm.
water. Have you tried? You put it on, and if you
I
rub your
don't.
face,
I don't think I've tried that. I was gonna say, and sorry, I didn't realize I was on mute. Don't know when that happened.
oh, I didn't know you were
Um,
either.
oh well, good, good. What it couldn't have been that long then.
Right.
I also will get those, Sarah. I have skin grafts like on the back of my legs and the lower part of my butt.
Uh,
And for me, a big thing is after like working out or like
mm,
sweating, especially right now in the summer, is changing my clothes, if showering, if you can right away. And
very.
like you said, I'm sure it's based on that bacteria, which makes
It
so much
is.
sense. But kind of just keeping the area as clean as possible.
And
Um,
dry,
mhm.
right?
And then
'Cause
try maybe that rinse. I mean, you can use facial rinses other places,
you
so maybe
can.
maybe
And that
that'll
one's
work.
it's really gentle, and I just like the skincare in it. I believe it has squalene too, which is an oil that moisturizes. Moisture is good, so you won't strip away any of the
Mhm,
moisture that you need in your graft, but you can cleanse it gently to
mhm,
try to work with that's what I would want to do, is try to not strip away moisture with anything harsh
mhm,
to dry out the acne, and think of the acne more as a bacterial situation, not something that needs to be dried with alcohols the way that we used to do it. I
mhm.
have a really cool new product that I use next in my order of things after I do my Nuovolus Beauty. I actually have like a whole, I kind of have like a whole thing, right? And it just depends on AM, PM, what I'm doing. If I were putting on my makeup, I would use Slushy Serum, which is a hyaluronic acid serum by In Beauty Project. And I don't get paid by them or anything. I bought this. So I love this product so much. And it's just a really good cream. You want to put on your makeup, but you don't want to use like 10 different things as your
Mhm,
prep. This one works for me, and I don't use another moisturizer or anything when I'm using Slushy Serum. So that's really good, especially for those of y'all who are like, no, I don't want, it's going to make my skin oily. And I get you, because I
mm.
said the same thing. I want to show you this. Hold on. This is a copper. I'm going to read to you about it because the science, the chemistry is beyond me. So, this is copper tripeptide and ectoin advanced repair serum. It's by Allies of Skin, and it's a new product that I've been using for a couple of months, and I just love just the way it's making my skin feel softer and less like a graft and
Mm,
more
mhm,
like the skin that was there before. This is one that you definitely consult your doctor about because of the copper
mhm.
composition. I did before I did anything with it, but I
Yep.
love the way it feels.
And it's always, I'm sure you do this too, Tanya, even after you get your doctor's approval, is just testing it on a
Yes,
small area. And
yes.
I'd probably recommend not the face if you can. Maybe
No,
test it on your arm or somewhere else, just in case you have a
yes.
reaction.
Absolutely. That's right. Just in case your doctor doesn't say that part, which they meant, because I'm sure they would, but what if you forget? Definitely, I have grafts all over my body. So I test products over on my arm first,
Hmm.
especially since I'm doing, you know, pictures and stuff. You don't want that. I don't like anything close to my eyes that I'm
Yeah.
uncertain of. And
Hmm.
things like that. So test lower. And you really do with these grafts. I know all your life you've heard consult your physician. You really, really need to consult your physician with the grafts. There's not a lot of data when the FDA is approving these products, when they're being tested. There's not a large segment of people with grafts.
Hmm.
And grafts behave differently. For example, my grafts were very dark, and that's what I wanted to get rid of. And there's no scientific explanation as to why they are
Hmm.
darker, but we need to keep that in mind when we're going for sun exposure, which remember I said, part of our summer skincare as a burn survivor is going to be limiting our sun exposure or changing it or being sure that we are always in a sunscreen, which we're about
Mm-hmm.
to get to. Um, I'm going to use a firming eye cream. I don't know if everyone needs this, but again, I have the under eye bags, and you can use it on your eyelid. Um, so for me, that feels like everyone can use it. I know if you're
Mm-hmm.
younger, you may not have this. Like Rachel said earlier, just because it's not there doesn't mean you shouldn't go ahead and,
Mm-hmm.
you
Start
know,
doing it.
start doing it now because this stuff is great. And I won't dare to explain all the technology, but or I
Yeah.
see chemistry.
And one other thing too, I just want to mention is, I also have a multi-step skincare routine because I love it. And it's really fun for me to learn new products and test them out. But
Mhm.
if you are a beginner, you can start small. You can start with
Yes.
just applying a moisturizer if you've never done that before. Like you don't have to. I love I mean, you've already
Yeah.
talked about products I'm going to be trying,
Yeah.
but if you're listening to this and it's like, oh my goodness, this is a
That's a
lot of
lot.
different things, you don't have to do them all.
No, you don't have to do them all. I'm doing this for the benefit of the show. If you don't want to do them all, right here is where you stopped. The slushy serum or something similar. A
Hmm.
moisturizer with this has bakuchiol and hyaluronic acid and squalane. Squalene, I never say that. Squalene, I never say it right. Squalene. So for
The
me, that's kind
chemistry.
of the that's like the trifecta and smoothing and hydration. So right
Hmm.
here, that's why I'm so fond of this product. You could use your Nuovolus Mini or not use it, but definitely cleanse your face. Use a toner. Plain rose water works, or you can buy a toner with other ingredients in it if you want. Dickinson's is a really good
Hmm.
toner, and it's not terribly expensive. You got to watch it. A lot of them are very expensive, and it's unnecessary. Really, if you're going to have the same ingredients in your next steps, then watch. You don't want to be paying for things that you don't need in your skincare. So start with a toner, and then a good. This for me, this is a moisturizer and a serum combined. You
Hmm.
stop right there, do it day and night, you're fine. Because I didn't do this many steps in the beginning. I didn't know to do it. I was wearing the Dermablend foundation and it was healing me. And then I started using Fenty fat water. Um, and it has niacinamide in it. So they are another ingredient. I just knew I wanted to try the new Fenty Skin. I had no idea why, right?
we
I just,
all we all did.
yeah, I just wanted it. I didn't know why. And I could just, in 6 months, I could just see the difference.
Hmm.
And I was actually able to, I was not able to, I was comfortable wearing what I call regular foundation, not the cream, not always
Hmm.
heavy foundation, because my skin just looked so much better to me. It's
Hmm.
all about your perception. But also, as burn survivors, skincare is healing also. It's not, it's not just, not that just aesthetics is not enough, but it's aesthetics and healing. You want your skin to be as strong and as soft and have as much range of motion, so it
Yep.
needs to stretch. Um, so I think that's why I really, really started to love skincare, because before I just wanted to get my makeup on. I wanted to wash my face, use a good face wash, and get my makeup on. And now I would rather skip makeup than skincare because it does give me that feeling of just being able to open my mouth or drink through a straw and having the
Hmm.
even tone. Now, this applies if you don't have skin grafts, but you have textured skin or you have hyperpigmentation. These
Hmm.
same ingredients work for you because there's no special products for burn survivors.
Hmm.
We just have a combination of different a combination of different needs. You know, we have textured, I'm mature, textured, hyperpigmented. So you end up looking for all these products. Um, it's easy to figure out what you need if you go to a website like The Ordinary. They're an affordable brand of skincare, definitely one of my favorites. And they
Mm-hmm.
do these sets that you can get. So it's like, okay, well, I need more moisture. I need, I have discoloration. Whatever it is that you have, they will have a 3-step set, which is
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's a face wash and a serum and a moisturizer. So it makes it really easy for you. You
And
don't have to know anything and you don't
yeah,
have to do a lot.
I was gonna say, and I think they do, and if they don't, there's so many companies that have skincare quizzes too on their
Hmm.
website.
I don't know if they do the,
So
yeah.
yeah, they may, and maybe, or they have like a blog post, like kind of explaining different
Yeah,
things too. So if you ever like don't even know where to start, look for one of those
right,
quizzes and just see what
right.
they recommend based on your answers.
And I actually, on the list that you get, I put the Ordinary Company there and I made a note because you can go on and see what you need. You know, I have my 2 favorite sets, but like if you do have a skin graft, but you have a need to clear an acne breakup or breakout or if you're acne prone, then they do have things for that. So Allies of Skin does too. Let's talk about that. The Ordinary, there's different price points for skincare. I'm sitting and I'm using Allies of Skin because I'm fortunate and I would use it either way, gifted or not gifted. But in our situation as survivors,
Mm-hmm.
um, we might be thinking, it's so expensive, if something is $30, because it really is. I know how much my SSI is, that's the situation. Or even, just burn survivor or not.
Mm-hmm.
So there are options. And just because you can't get Allies of Skin doesn't mean you can't get good skincare. I love to use Dove. I use
Mm-hmm.
Dove body wash with or the Olay with hyaluronic acid and Dove with niacinamide, and those things are great. And you get a big bottle for $8. The sunscreens that I use are I listed a range of sunscreens. The most important thing is that they have an SPF. They say 30. For me, it's 50 or above.
Mm-hmm.
You can ask the doctor, but definitely it has to be at least SPF 30. And there's Neutrogena, or you can get La Roche-Posay. You can spend whatever you're comfortable with. What's the difference between the products? Well, it's
Yep.
usually a few more ingredients, and the more expensive product may have a few extra ingredients that soften or maybe with the less expensive product you need to use 2 different things to get the same
Mm-hmm.
result, but it doesn't mean it's not effective
Yep.
because it's less expensive. That's not what it means. It's not like, oh, it's no good. So the Ordinary is great. Number 7 makes good stuff. I have not used them in a long time. It's a drugstore brand, Number 7. It was a British brand, and they have makeup also, but their skincare worked really nicely for me pre-burn.
Yeah, and I was gonna say too, I mean, let's say you're new, and I would definitely recommend starting with those quality drugstore products. Get a
Yes,
feel for what you want. And then, I'm also someone who I mean, I personally think so many of the drugstore products are just as good as the higher end,
they are
but
a lot.
maybe there's one area that you really want to focus on, and maybe that's
Right,
your texture. And then you splurge on one thing to help with
right.
that one main concern. It doesn't have to be every
It
single
doesn't
product
have
you're
to
using.
be, yeah, it's not all or nothing. It's not
Hmm.
all or nothing. And I mean, so the biggest thing now that we'll start to talk, that I'll talk about briefly, right now I'm using the Allies of Skin Firming Daily Treatment. I love this stuff. Again, it's so good for any kind of what we call anti-aging, just firming skin. But
Hmm.
there's drugstore products that work for that as well that are listed. But I love this. But one of the new things that I'm seeing is a lot of is epidermal growth factor.
Mm.
And I use that a lot in the Allies of Skin brands. This firming treatment does not have it, but I promise you, this is one of the best things I've ever. This is my favorite. This is my favorite skincare product ever. Peptides and antioxidants. I don't know what a peptide is, but it's great.
I hear it a lot on commercials and in ads, and it's like hyaluronic acid. Like, don't really know what that is, but I need it
I,
clearly.
you, I I credit hyaluronic acid with smoothing my facial skin. That
Hmm.
was the only difference. And now I'm starting in. That's why I used the Dove body wash with hyaluronic acid, because I
Hmm.
wish I had been putting the hyaluronic acid everywhere for the
Everywhere.
past 5 years. Because this is getting a lot smoother now than it was, but it's not like this. So I was like, wow.
Hmm.
But I credit hyaluronic acid. But there's other factors to be considered too. This is a face and this is an arm.
Yeah.
So
For
yeah.
me, I know for my arms, with my grafting, the biggest thing that helped me was just daily moisturizing, like
Yes.
body lotion. I put on Jergens because you can get
Uh-huh.
a huge bottle. I think it's like their cocoa butter one.
Yep.
I've tried a few of them. Put that
It's
on
good
every
stuff.
single day for the past many years, and I think my grafts look. I mean, they're
Good,
pretty
right?
smooth, and yeah, like
Uh,
they're pretty
so
good.
moisture is the key, and that's what hyaluronic acid does, y'all. When we talk about hyaluronic acid, it hyaluronic acid is I do know it occurs naturally. See how this lash isn't sticking because I've got like
Hmm.
gooiness by my eye or so. Oh, look, there we go. Because again, this is a burn survivor situation right here, or
Hmm.
recreated eye. But anyway, hyaluronic acid is occurs naturally in your body, but every molecule of hyaluronic acid can hold 1,000 times its weight in water. So when you start to lose hyaluronic acid as you age, or when you've had grafts, and adding it is just a really great way to moisturize. So it
Hmm.
is all about moisture. Maybe you'll get there a little bit faster.
Yep.
But hyaluronic acid is now widely available.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of those things you're going to be able to get in a
Yep.
lot of products affordably,
Yeah.
and it's all
Because
about that moisture.
and Lisa asked here a question, and I know we have some others. Don't worry, I'll get to them.
Okay.
But this was what we were talking about right now. About so she's asking, what did you put on your skin that helped smooth it out? And she asked, was it Dove?
That helped smooth it out. It was it, on my body. Yes, the Dove. It was the Dove hyaluronic acid body wash. I'm not sure they're making it anymore, so I switched to Olay. They're doing something
They,
different.
I was gonna say, I think Dove had one. They may still. Olay has one. I mean,
Olay
any
definitely, but
you can definitely find a body wash
yeah, with
at the
hyaluronic
store.
acid.
Yeah.
And it was different brands of hyaluronic acid on my face. I literally just went on Amazon and bought hyaluronic acid cream. First, I kept buying all these collagen creams. And
Mm,
then I learned that collagen can, again, not an esthetician, but it can thicken scars. It's the building block of
mm,
skin. So collagen is not always the right thing to do. You need to talk to the dermatologist or that. So I backed off on collagen because I didn't want to build any more.
that
Because
makes sense. Yeah.
right, and I just bought, just if it said hyaluronic acid, I'm in. Neutrogena made it, and Neutrogena is one of my favorites for that.
Hmm.
You can pick it up very affordably. And there's some no-name brands. Watch the stars on Amazon, but if I were recommending just a plain hyaluronic acid, it would be a cream by Neutrogena or The Ordinary. It comes in just a bottle. Let me see if I have one. Comes in just a little dropper bottle. And I don't know if yeah, this is hyaluronic acid by The Ordinary. And this is probably, it's
Eight.
$10 or
I was
less.
gonna say $8, something like
Right,
that.
it's
Yeah.
10 or less. And you can just put this on your face every day, rub it in. I used, before I started using the microcurrent, I always used a jade roller to apply my serum.
Mm,
So get a jade roller like this, something like this, and I would put the hyaluronic acid and rub it in every day religiously, morning and evening. And it just added so much smoothing to me. And there's no science behind it. There's nobody that's going to say that it works. But in 5 years, I got from here to here, kind of by
mm-hmm,
mistake, you know. So that's it, and it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be expensive. Allies of
mm,
Skin, the top brand, the growth factor. I meant okay. So I was reading about growth factor because I'm not a scientist. Your body stops making this growth factor when you're around 20, the epidermal growth factor. So, skincare products, the really high end products right now, like Allies and some others, are adding the EGF, epidermal growth factor.
mm,
It has given me the most amazing results in the past couple of months. I just look brighter and softer, but I don't. You need to research it and
mm-hmm.
talk. It's actually causing cells to produce more, and that can be a thing. Yeah, I don't want it to be something that 10 years from now it's studied and it was the cause of, you know
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So look into it when with the new products, but that's one I really love. But as far as just tried and true, anybody can use, you're never going to go wrong with a good moisturizer, water based,
Mm-hmm.
a good hyaluronic acid serum. That's great for getting rid of wrinkles or lines or texture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Niacin.
And Amber asked here a question too. She has sensitive skin. So what about using these products, or do you have any other suggestions on folks that have sensitive skin?
For sensitive skin, I always sort of give a nod to Neutrogena. I
Mm,
love Neutrogena. A lot of times your sensitivity could be fragrance or added
yeah.
ingredients that you really don't
I,
need.
I was
And,
going to say that I tend to have a little bit more sensitive skin, and even for me, like on my arms, because I have some facial burns, but it's not a lot. But for my
uh,
arms and my back, using even like I use like the Free and Gentle like laundry
right,
detergent, because the perfumes and products really irritate
really
me.
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of time that's the irritation. And using products that are just pure, that are what you need, eliminate,
Mm-hmm.
like that hyaluronic acid serum that I just showed you is hyaluronic acid and B5, and that's it. There's no extra
Mm-hmm.
added things. So I real look to Neutrogena or the Ordinary company. And the Ordinary, when you go to their website and just look around, um, you're going to find sensitive skin recommendations, and uh, that's going to be the best way to go. But I'm willing to bet you it's ingredients that you didn't even need that are causing
Mm-hmm.
irritation.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And two, for me, mine is also like if I strip it too much, like if I'm
Yeah,
over washing
yeah.
or just kind of like almost like doing too much because I
Mhm,
washed it too much, I
mhm.
have the same reactions there too with my sensitive skin. So sometimes
Right.
less is more too.
Less is more. And when you have a regimen like this, even though I had all these steps I'm going through, they are calculated. It's not just, they're going in a certain order,
Mm-hmm.
and they are definitely calculated. And it's what's recommended for
Mm-hmm.
me that I've gotten cleared. So right now, look, the glow is just so, I
Yeah.
just love that. I
Looks
never thought it
amazing.
would glow again. I love that. And keeping in mind that, we all love that dewy, glowy makeup, and that glow starts underneath your makeup. You
Mm-hmm.
can't add it later. It's not highlighter, it's not illuminator. That's
That's a
shiny.
different type of glow.
That's shiny. That's not shiny and glowing are two different things. And that
Mm-hmm.
is glowing. Just I credit it to the hyaluronic acid and niacinamide. Um, those are the products. If you had if if I were to recommend just, or I had to get rid of all my other things and I could only have three things, I would have Silky Rinse, the soap, and I would have Slushy Serum, and I might just have some extra hyaluronic. No, actually, I would have an eye cream for sure, a good eye cream, and that's it. Because if you can get one item that has multiple ingredients that you need, and look, it says it hydrates and improves appearance of uneven texture. Boom. That's what I needed. So
Mm-hmm.
kind of go with what you need when you're reading the label. You don't have to have everything. Don't go to the makeup counter and let them sell you every single thing because they want to. I mean, I'm not nothing against the makeup counter, but you don't have to buy
That's their job,
every
is to
single
sell
thing.
you everything.
Yeah, you don't have to buy every single thing. So that's definitely Slushy is my product of the year. And for the my personal skincare is the Allies of Skin. But
Hmm.
that, again, these are different, just different levels and points. And I'm kind of on a mission just to see, what I want to know? I want to know how much I can heal the skin, how much I can
Hmm.
soften it, how much, like, how far can you go? Because the only point of reference that we have is each other, y'all.
Yeah.
That is it. There's no study being being done right now. Sunscreen. Sunscreen. I'm looking for it. You definitely have to use it on your face, and you have to use it in addition to what's in your foundation. That's
Hmm.
not going to be enough. So, my sunscreen right here, of course, is the Allies of Skin. It's SPF 50. And what's important about it, because Neutrogena makes this, and so do a couple of other companies where you can get it for under $10, right? I don't know how much, but definitely under 10. And the important part is that it's a clear gel, so it's not
Mm.
going to affect your makeup. It's not going to pill up. You can actually use this as your primer because the more, if you are a makeup girly like me, the more you put on underneath your foundation, the more chances you have of it looking cakey or of
Mm.
it pilling up, like little
Yep.
rolls of stuff. The more you put underneath it, the more you moisturize right here, the more you have a chance of just not enjoying what your makeup looks like. So I think Neutrogena does the same. Look for one that is also a primer, a
Mm.
sunscreen and a primer, but a dedicated sunscreen. And in the summer, I like to use a tinted moisturizer like this. This is Josh Rosebrook Nutrient Day Cream. Um, I like to use this tinted day cream and I add some foundation. I'll show you how to make my own BB cream, which is a beauty balm cream.
Mm.
So I create my own with this, and it just feels so good on my face. I like it better than any one that I've been able to buy. And it's simple,
Mm.
just using your standard foundation and a tinted day cream. This is SPF 30. So I know I'm going to get through my day and with my face protected. On my
Hmm.
body, I like to use the Neutrogena clear sunscreen all
Mm.
over my body. It's fragrance free, and if you need to reapply, you can. Remember with sunscreens that um, if it's in a spray bottle, it's like it doesn't count, right? It needs to be a cream or a gel.
Hmm.
Spray bottles, there's something about the spray that is uneven. I can't remember all the details, but it messes with the SPF, right?
I hate the spray.
Yeah, you
I
hate
like
it.
the cream. I hate
Yeah,
it.
well, and the cream is all that really counts. So that's
Yep.
actually a lot of foundation, but here we go. So I did two pumps and then some of the BB cream. And then I'm just going to take a little spatula and mix it up. I
Mm.
didn't take time to get out a palette, so my hands
Yeah,
are.
and I'll just
But
add to while you're applying that. I'm a really big fan of Supergoop. They're definitely a little bit more pricey, but for me, that's where I want
that's
to
what you
spend
like.
my money
Yeah.
because in the summer I don't wear I live in Charleston, and Tonya, you know this too from living in
It's so
Atlanta.
hot.
It's hot and I sweat all the time. So if
Oh
I
yeah.
put I can't wear foundation or anything in the summer unless it's later because
Right.
it'll sweat off
It's
and
gonna
it's
sweat it
just
off of
not
you,
a
right?
good look.
It is
Um,
not. See, that's too
so
light. Yeah.
yeah, so I really like theirs. They do have some CC creams. I think that's what those are. With they do a lot of SPF 40, which I know is kind of weird. It's either like 30 or 50, but
Yeah, I don't know
um,
40 a lot.
yeah, I know the face cream that I use. It's like a serum because it has like vitamin C in it too. It's SPF 40, so I don't know, but
Really? See,
yeah.
that's nice. And all the serums, yeah, try to get SPF in your serums. I do like layering the SPFs to make sure. And not forgetting our bodies,
Hmm.
please don't as a burn survivor. Even if you're, I guess what I'm going to say is you need to protect your whole body regardless of what was burned.
Yep.
We all need sun protection. It's just a fact. And a lot of us are thinking, well, what are we going to do? I can't get out in the sun anymore. Well, maybe you need to do things earlier or later. In the South, we're kind of accustomed to that because of the heat. We get
Hmm.
accustomed to, okay, we instead of running at 4 p.m., we're going to run at 6 a.m. or 8 p.m. So doing things like
Hmm.
that helps a lot. Um,
Definitely.
and investing in something that you're not going to sweat off, definitely.
Hmm.
Pick what's important to you. For me, it's always about tightening and smoothing. So I like my serums a lot. That's where I'm going to go. If you give me a nice new serum, I'm always going to use it. I'm going to even blank out my lips. Don't forget your lips also. Get a nice lip gloss like Elf makes Sun Gloss or a balm that you carry with you all day, regardless of what you're doing with your lip. That has an SPF. Most of those have an SPF 25. Allies of Skin, I think, has one that's an SPF 50, but I think you're good at 25. Remember your eyes and your lips and your
Yep.
scalp.
And I know Aquaphor makes a chapstick too with SPF, I think 30 in it. I
Does
got
it
that
have
off
to? Yeah, something
Amazon.
like that, like a,
Mhm.
a, a chapstick like Aquaphor or even can't think of it. Any of the or well, again Neutrogena, all the drugstore brands have plenty of SPF in them, and you carry that with you. And definitely remember when you're doing your sunscreen that eyelids are part of your face. You have to dab it on. They burn, and your scalp burns. And I was recently out in the sun, and just standing waiting for an Uber, and I could feel the burn. It hurt so much that I had to seek shade, and that's not something that's ever, ever, ever happened to me.
That's
But
when you know it's the summer.
this what is the summer? That's when see for me, I've just never, I'm brown skinned. A burn is just not something I've ever had. I would soak up sun and tan, but the nature
Hmm.
of your skin changes after it's grafted or burned.
Definitely.
And I had to run for cover, but do that and don't hesitate to protect yourself. I overheat. Y'all have seen me wearing my fan visor, right? Y'all have seen this.
I
I
need
am
to
not,
get myself one of these.
these are the best. I mean, it's by Bluestone Sun Shields. And I know I put it in the list because I actually have a discount code for this one. Some things they'll give me if I share it with my followers, they get a discount code for y'all. But it's just so
It's
cool because
amazing.
you can adjust it. It felt good right then. I want to wear it except for the noise. So you can adjust it any way you want.
Oh.
And it's got 3 speeds. So you can put it on your head any way you want. I wear it at nighttime. It also has an SPF protection in it. You notice on the side it's like
Oh.
this material. So
Hmm.
it has an SPF 50 even if you get the one without the fan. And
Nice.
they have the cute kitty visor. And I'm going to show you something else. One thing really cool. I like this company because there's people making these visors and they're very ridiculously expensive, and these are not. And when I say ridiculously expensive, I mean like Dior makes one and it's $900.
Oh my gosh.
$900, and this is like $50 less. 15%. Look, it's my kitty visor. I wear this in the sun, or if you are active, I think this is really cute for that. But you do have to keep in mind this is only covering your face.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to protect your ears, you have to protect the back of your neck. And that's where the sunscreen comes in. So part of your skincare routine is sunscreen. And another part of your routine is managing when you're in the sun. And I think that's true
Mm-hmm.
whether you're a survivor or not, because the sun is not your friend. You do need to be out in it sometimes,
That's true.
but you need to protect your skin from it as
Mm-hmm.
well. We know about cancer and things. My husband had had skin cancer, being fair skinned. He had had it by the time he was 25, a melanoma on his skin. So we have to be really careful. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't charge my little thing up, but you guys will see this if you go to the website. This is actually a UV mirror. And if you can
Oh,
imagine, when you look into the mirror, it's got a little camera on it, and then it will show you where your sunscreen is.
oh
I
my
wish I
gosh, that's
charged it up.
amazing.
I so did
That's
not.
amazing.
It's like these are $100. They are worth it. You can use it on any part of your body, and it shows you like if it's wearing off or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Wish I'd turned it on. Check bluestonesunshields.com.
And we'll make
Um,
sure that's in that list too.
it's on the list. It's
Oh,
definitely on the
perfect.
list. So it's actually a UV mirror. And I thought, do I really need that? And then I found that I really love to carry it
You
with
really did.
me.
Really
It's like
did
I
need
really need that, right?
it.
But it really, if you have sensitive skin, and I think that's what we need to consider our skin to be, all of us, whether we're calling ourselves sensitive skin or not, I think we all have sensitive skin
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
as
And Crystal had a quick question too. Does the fan on that visor you showed, does that dry out your eyes?
Does it? No, it did not dry my eyes, but Crystal, I'm wearing scleral contacts. I've not tried it without. Um, it likely would, but
Mm,
I think the grace is that you can adjust
just
the
to,
angle of it.
well,
But
and you
I'll
probably
try.
I'm sure also too, you don't have to have it on the whole time. Like maybe you
Yeah,
turn it
turn
on
it
for
on.
a little, and if it's drying out your eyes, turn
Yeah.
it back off and switch it on and off.
And those are, I think she does. Those are made in California, and the young lady that makes them is an esthetician, and she created these sun shields for her clients that were coming in and getting work done, and then they didn't need to be in the sun. And by work I mean like chemical peels, things like that, where you don't need to be in the sun. And so she started making these visors, and I just think, that one with the fan, I was like, yeah, I need that immediately. And I have used that one more than anything. I walk my dog at night with the fan visor, and I don't leave
Hmm.
it on the whole time.
Hmm.
It's great. Look, you see how pretty that is? I think that looks so
Hmm.
pretty. Just I'm still glowing. Gonna have to powder that. But so that's just using a sunscreen, a day cream moisturizer. Grady, honey, please stop. My dog.
He heard I won't say it, the WALK word, and
Yeah,
he's like, "Time to
the,
go, mom."
when we go to the PARK. He's uh and it's like he can open the door. He's not shut out. He's just he wants me to get up and it's completely cracked. he's a he's a diva too. But yeah, just using I don't know what we're saying, but using the day cream is
No,
really good.
I like how it gives you coverage, but not like full coverage, which I feel like is perfect for the summer. Like it's a little lighter and you're still
Right, it's fun.
protected.
And you can still color correct. Like I can come in here with my uh concealer if I want. And even for concealer, I use this House Labs by Lady Gaga Tri-Tech concealer, I think it's called. And it's got so much skincare in it. It's very moisturizing itself, and it just kind of moves with your skin. That is another thing I want to say about summer skincare or year-round skincare is that there's plenty of makeup brands that are making
Hmm.
makeup that has skincare built in. There's hyaluronic acid in it. There's niacinamide in it. So if you are looking at budgeting, now I'm not saying that you can cut out the serum, but I'm saying that you can consider um,
Oh, well, we will be waiting and considering as Tanya rejoins us. In the meantime, I'm going to try and answer maybe some of these questions. Riva here had a question about eyebrow tips, and maybe Tanya's back. We'll see. Riva, I will say Tanya will definitely give you great tips for these. Half of my eyebrow right here is burned off, as I'm sure you can see. For me, what I do is honestly, I do nothing because I don't feel like filling it in every day. If that's something you choose to do, there's so many great, eyebrow pencils and products you can use. I will say the rest of my eyebrows are a little bushy thanks to my father and his genes. And I use the NYX eyebrow gel. It's like eyebrow glue, I think it's called. That stuff works wonders. I use the brown color, but I've also used just the clear one as well. So definitely check those out. Tanya also has so many great eyebrow tips. So if she can't come back on, we can't cover that tonight. Be sure to check out her profile. And I'm sure you'll be able to find some videos from her. Sarah, I wanted to make sure we got to this question too. So Sarah's asking that, she has to wear a compression garment on her face. Any recommendations for what kind of moisturizer to put underneath? Oh, and here
One of
we
the
got
most
Tanya back.
I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, which I recommend for all of you if you're doing a test, but it somehow switched to personal, and then the phone
No,
rang. And when that happens and you're streaming, it takes you out. I was so upset.
no worries. Everyone's probably like, oh no, Rachel has to answer all these questions on her own. But you're back. You're back. So I
I'm
was
back.
just looking at Sarah's question here. So she has to wear a compression garment on her face. And she just was worried, or she was looking for recommendations for moisturizers to put underneath.
Cocoa butter. How long have you still got the compression garment on? Does the doc what does the doctor have you using? Because if I
Hmm.
think if you're still in the first, I wore my compression garments in the first year. I don't know, maybe you're wearing them longer than that, but normally they told me to use cocoa butter, and that worked really well for me, or Aquaphor. It just depends on
I
your
was going to
hospital.
say, I used Aquaphor underneath mine.
Yeah.
Now, one thing too, and obviously talk to your doctor and your medical team about this, given that it's summer and we are sweating a little bit more, Aquaphor can clog your pores. So
Yes.
obviously you can put that around. I don't know how, the facial burn, if mine is only on half, so I certainly couldn't put it on everywhere right now. So
All
just keep
right.
that in mind too, is, Aquaphor, I mean, it works wonders, but it can clog your pores if you're putting it on everywhere heavily.
Yeah, cocoa butter worked really great for me with the compression, Sarah. And that's what I just stuck with. But you know what? I'm this person, it has to be Palmer's. There really is a
Mm,
difference between the cocoa butters. So where I told you you can use any brand, just that no, it has to be Palmer's, especially for your face. Use the Palmer's cocoa butter and the compression. And I had a full mask as well, the full whole thing, just eye holes. And it was very difficult to wear. I didn't know I was claustrophobic until then. And I will admit I did not wear it as much as I should. I'm not telling you not to, but please do. It makes a difference.
it really
The
does.
compression makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
But underneath it, I wouldn't put anything other than cocoa butter. I did not use Aquaphor, but Aquaphor will definitely clog. I was horrified when I saw the makeup artist using Aquaphor on the under eyes. I don't know if
Oh,
J Lo's makeup artist using Aquaphor. I was horrified. I mean, it might be smooth. It would look pretty for like a movie, but if you were to do that every day, it would definitely put some little bumps. I
it's
can't
too
remember.
heavy.
It's
Yeah.
too. It would create little bumps, and I'd be afraid your face would do that with anything else. So I would just stick with something pure like cocoa butter.
Hmm.
Yep,
Definitely.
sure enough. More questions?
Well, Reva, I did answer this while you were gone, but she asked about eyebrow tips. She says hers are unruly and half of one was burned off. So I showed her
Yeah.
mine. That was also half burned off.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Did you? Well, I have none. That's funny. I just picked up my eyebrow pencil. I have no eyebrows, and I wear eyebrow wigs. Um, there's different brands, but these are lashy brows. You can do that, or you can simply just use a pencil, even with the eyebrow wig, because things have really changed as to what's cool for eyebrows. You know, it always
Mm,
changes, right?
yep.
So either it's really, really thin right now, which I'm not doing that. That's what I did in the 90s. So the
I
super
won't
skinny,
go back there.
I'm not going there. They never did grow back. I had tattoos, but the tattoos wouldn't work for me. So I use like an eyebrow, um, just a pencil, a double-ended
Hmm.
pencil like this. So I think if the tip were missing, I would come in and do this. And if it's unruly, then there's laminate and things that I don't have a lot of brow, but it looks so pretty now when they put the brow
Oh yeah.
laminate on, and then just you put it
Well,
on and trim it the way it should be.
yeah.
So I would, yeah, and go to a brow tech if they even have those anymore. Like at Ulta, you used to go and someone would do your
Hmm.
brows, or your hairdresser, get the
Yeah.
unruliness waxed and trimmed, and then just take a pencil like this and just kind of just
I
sketch it in.
also use because I'm not scared of the lamination process. It just scares me to do something and that's not permanent. But
Uh-huh.
I don't know. What I recommended while you were off the NYX eyebrow. I think it's called just glue eyebrow glue, and
Oh,
that.
oh yeah, that's what it is. That's what I was thinking of. That
Mhm.
they put the
It's
glue.
Yeah, but
You
that
tell me.
one washes off every night, so you can try it out without having to commit to the lamination if you don't want.
I would love. I was just looking at brow lamination, and I was like, man, can they do that if you don't have any brows? I was wondering, can they just put color there, or could you put henna there? I'm trying to figure it out myself.
Mm.
Sisters
Yeah,
did.
I just feel like it wouldn't last long enough for it to be worth it.
But I don't know. For me, that's kind of like those lashes. I only got lash extensions once because
Mhm.
I thought they were, a couple $100, and I thought it's going to last 2 or 3 weeks. And it lasted, I woke up and there were lashes on the pillow the next morning.
Oh,
It was like, oh, no, no, no. So I never did it again. That's when I had lashes. But if you look, you know, definitely use some of that glue, and you can stand your brows up with this, with the spoolie, and then
mhm,
take a little pair of scissors, kind of trim them the way they should be.
mhm.
And just remember that your brows are, the beginning of your brow is right in the middle of your nostril. And then if you rotate from like the tip through your pupil, that's your arch, and then outside of the eye right here. So you can take a little pencil and just kind of draw the tail in,
Mhm,
and kind of make, or actually maybe a pen even, if you want to make the really delicate hair strips.
mhm.
It'd be really pretty. I think it'd be
Yeah,
pretty.
that's
That, but
what
not
I
brown.
do
Pretty.
sometimes when I want to fill the rest of mine in, but most of the time I just, to be
Just don't
honest,
even.
don't
Yeah.
care.
Well, see, I
But
never
that's also
noticed it.
Well, that's also because
Yeah.
I part my hair this
Yeah.
way, so I mean,
You don't
you
see.
can like you see it, but when you're just looking at me like this right now, you can't tell.
Right. It's
So,
not standing out. So there's definitely things like that. We notice things more than other people do.
hmm, definitely. Well,
But
and
definitely,
whatever you feel confident in, there was definitely a time where I was filling in my eyebrow because it really bothered me that I didn't have a full eyebrow on that side, and
yeah.
especially for a little, I mean, they kind of still are, but like eyebrows are like the craze for some reason.
Eyebrows
Um,
are always going to be like the craze.
yeah,
I think
and
that's
so yeah, like growing up, I was like self-conscious of it, but now I'm more confident. I'm like, I don't care if my eyebrow's not there. Like, who cares these days? But
right.
you have to feel confident and comfortable in whatever
Feel
you do.
good. That's why I
Mhm,
love makeup, y'all. I love my skincare because it feels good. My
mhm.
skin feels more like it used to. It's more comfortable living in
Yep.
it. So that's why I love coming to talk about skincare. And I love makeup. Makeup is not camouflage. It is just how I express myself, and the way that makes me want to kind of just like stand up and be like, yeah, okay. Always. It's
Mhm.
always been that way. I love it. Nails, makeup, hair. Right now, I'm using a powder. Y'all, even the setting powders now have like hydrating benefits. This one I got in my Ipsy box. It's called Beauty for Real. I've got makeup on
Mm.
it, but Beauty for Real. And the color is Brighten. That's the color.
Oh.
And it's Hydra Set Translucent Brightening Powder. And I just love this because it doesn't dry your skin. It really does brighten. And if you're older like me and you have like these lines by your face, the best way to downplay that is just to brighten it up a little. Definitely you can use like a color corrector. If you're going to use it right down here. When you
Mm.
brighten this, it just takes away a lot of, actually you can tell that side looks better than that one right now. So there's skincare in pretty much everything I put on my face. And that's why I wanted to do it, because it is so hot and it doesn't feel good when I have a full face of makeup, really.
Mm-mm.
When I'm overheated, when I'm full glam, which I love to be, but I'm overheated, I don't like it. But when I use something like a tinted moisturizer with a little bit of foundation and then just a little bit of powder and it feels good on my skin.
Mm-hmm.
I get the look that I want and I can bear it all day. And all day long, I'm getting skincare benefits.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically wearing your night cream all day.
Yep.
So that's what I look for. And that's the way you're going to really stretch your money too. That's what I
Definitely.
believe. Even if you're not buying the individual products, get the makeup, Ciate London, Lottie London, pretty much everybody
I mean,
anymore.
I was gonna say, and there's
Everybody.
so many brands now.
There,
There used to
everybody.
be
Yeah.
just, I mean, there was always so many brands, but now there's really so many brands out there.
There's
It's
so
crazy.
much, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be able to find it. Just you can either walk in a drugstore and look around and look for hyaluronic acid. That's what I'll tell you what I would look for. Hyaluronic
Mm-hmm.
acid, niacinamide, anything with squalene, which is SQALANE, bakuchiol, which you'll if you see it you'll know, and any of those ingredients, because for me, my key to healing has been hydration, moisturizing. The
Mm-hmm.
grafts, keeping moisture in it has been the goal. So when you've got that compression garment on, um, and you're using the cocoa butter, for me, I like to put like lotions on when I'm a little bit damp. You know how they always tell you that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, put it on right out of the shower.
Yep.
Well, that's because you have the actual water on your skin. That's the moisture. And then the cream is the barrier that keeps that in.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of moisture on your face and the cocoa butter might make a difference if your skin is just slightly damp.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about drenched, slightly damp.
Yep.
And then the cocoa butter, Sarah, I think that would work really well.
Yeah,
Because I always did
definitely.
mine out of the shower.
Yes, that's what I do as well. And I
Yeah,
also just like feel like one, you can use less when you do it right after the
you
shower,
can.
and it just like goes on so much easier.
It goes on smoother and it really is holding in that moisture. That's why they recommend it. This is just an
Mm-hmm.
eyeliner that I'm trying to tight line with because this brow has got so much eye underneath it. But it is a Ciate London eyeliner, and they are the first makeup company that really taught me about hybrid makeup. And it came in my Ipsy box, and it was like a highlighter with hyaluronic acid in it. And I was so excited because I just learned about hyaluronic acid, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is a brand that always, always, always has skincare in it, and it's probably a medium price point. This eyeliner might be 10 or 15 or $10 to $20, like a mid price point, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to go that high to get the same thing, but
Mm-hmm.
worked really well. Um,
That's great.
when you look for the glow, look for the moisture, and moisture solves the majority of your problems with the grafts.
When
Hydration.
in doubt, moisturize.
When in doubt, moisturize. A water-based moisturizer is going to fix it. And I think red light therapy has been a big help to me for the increased collagen production, because collagen is the is what's building your skin. It's what's fixing it. It's what we're lacking. So you're really
How,
trying to rebuild it.
yeah, how often? So is it a red light? Like, I've seen them. I don't have one. I'll have to try and get one.
I tagged it. It's
Do you,
$71 today.
that's a deal.
That's crazy.
And
I'm sorry. I'm
it's
excited.
And that's something you like plug in and then like you lay
Yeah.
down and okay.
I wear it 10 minutes. It's in my other room. I should have brought it in here. But it is a full mask. Grady, go get it, please.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Grady, can you go
Can
get the
I
mask,
train him
please?
to go
Thanks.
get my thing? I know, y'all, I do a lot of lives and have to let Grady in. So, but yeah, it's a full mask, Rachel. Pardon me, y'all. I'm sorry. What the door was that far open. You're so dramatic. The door was
He's
that
ready.
far.
He wants his red light therapy.
He's like, Mama, what are you doing? And I haven't been live for a couple of months. So he's like, what are you doing? He hasn't seen me do this. Um, but yeah, so it's a full mask I put on. When you first start wearing it, there's instructions like you do it maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And then you do it every other night. I do it every night now. And the one that I love not only has red light, but it has blue light, which is good for acne. So it clears bacteria. And it has green light, which is brightening. And then it has purple, which is smoothing. So you can kind of choose which color light therapy, and it really does work. I just did not realize that these things, I knew that they worked because I'd heard the technology FDA approved. I didn't know that they worked as well as they do. Very much
Mhm.
like this new Ovalus. This is my favorite product, the microcurrent. I would have never guessed that it could be so beneficial. Um,
Well, and the great thing about, the
it's like 10
oval
minutes.
loop and the
Uh,
red light therapy is that, they may be more expensive up front, but those are they're not products that are you're using up. Like you can constantly use them
Right. You're using it for a long time.
forever
So
or
that's
forever.
kind of
Yeah.
what, yeah, because that's kind of where I put my money, where we're saying choose where you're going to put your money. That's kind of where I choose to put, oh, sorry, where I choose to put mine is in the devices.
Hmm.
Um, they make a big difference for my skin, and these are things that they use in spas and such, so you can buy
Right.
it and have it at home. I lay down with it. I put it on at bedtime, and then I put my blue light tooth whitener in my mouth.
Yeah.
If y'all check
You
my stories on Instagram right now or Facebook, because I posted it again real quick because it's like, oh my gosh, it's on sale because it's normally like it was $150 the red light, then it was 100, now it's Prime Day and it's like 71. I was like, eek. So I put it on there, but in the video, I'm actually doing my nighttime routine and I've got my red light mask, which you just put on clean skin,
yeah.
wash your face, put it on 10 minutes. And then the Smiles Direct Club tooth whitener is like a blue thing that you put in your mouth for
Uh,
10 minutes. So I'm a
You
hot mess.
probably, I was gonna say, you look so funny, probably
I
with
look hilarious.
all the different colors on.
Y'all check it out. It's in my stories. It's like craziness, but yeah,
Yeah,
I invest in products that
it's
last,
awesome.
you know,
That's awesome.
and
Well,
save me money from the spa.
yeah, I was gonna say there's so many at home spa techniques and treatments and products that you can use. So
Yeah,
it's so much. I know these things are investments and they're not cheap, but they're so
right.
much more affordable than if you would have to go to the spa. Which there's
They are.
it, unfortunately, if you do go to the spa for facials or peels or whatever, and you are a survivor with facial skin, make sure you find someone you trust. I know I go to someone who's never worked with burn survivors before, but when I was getting facials, she just made me feel really comfortable, worked with me, walked me through all the steps. So it's also
I
really
think
important.
I think that's important to remember because you might be walking around saying, "Oh, I've got to find somebody that's worked with burn survivors." Well, who might that be? Not a lot of people have, we're kind of in a different category. So just find somebody who you trust, who's good at what they do. And
Hmm.
they will, yes, she talked you through it and figured it out with you. So, but it can't be anyone who thinks they already know the answer because I
Hmm.
don't know anybody.
And someone who says like they've never worked with a burn survivor, but they are, I guess for me, I had a few consults before I found the person I like, and I drive further for her. I probably
Mhm.
pay more money for her,
Yep.
but I just trust her with my skin.
Find
Um,
somebody like that.
yeah.
Yes.
So find someone you like. Don't always just go to the who's ever closest, who's running the best monthly sale or something like that.
Right. That's where we're going to take away the price consideration.
Mm-hmm.
When it's a service. And I mean, of course, you don't want to be like, oh, I'll pay you anything. But when it comes to service, I get your. It is said you get what you pay for, right?
Yep.
So you can't risk it. We can't take any chances
Mm-hmm.
with our grafts. That's not dark enough. There's no do-over once certain of these things are done. Like you said about
Definitely.
the brows, even that's like a 2-week commitment, but you might not want to make it when you could just use the glue at home,
Yep.
right? You know? So I think that we need to consider things like that and consider that our skin, whether it's as a burn survivor or as a maturing woman, or just really for me, anybody with
Mm-hmm.
skin, which is all of us, we need to realize how important our skin is, what
Mm-hmm.
it does for us. Because you appreciate it a lot more when it's lost and you have to re-heal it. So don't
Definitely.
take any chances with it. Ask your doctor before you try new skincare, or
Yep.
get a red light, or use any of these things. Right? Consult,
Definitely.
because you don't
Mm-hmm.
know. There might be something different about you, and there's not really a cookie cutter answer when it comes
Yep.
to our skincare. So I really
Definitely.
enjoy coming on here and talking
Yeah, no,
to you guys.
we so appreciate it, and I know we've been talking for an hour and a half now. I can't believe
Have
it,
we?
but yes,
I
it's been
talked so
flying
long.
by.
Did we answer all the
Well,
questions?
yes, we did.
Good.
So, any last minute tips, advice, thoughts, anything from you, Tanya, before we
Um,
close out tonight?
yeah, definitely. My last thoughts are that I didn't kind of what I was just saying. I didn't realize how important skincare was until my skin was burned, until it was
Mm-hmm.
damaged, until I realized how much it keeps us alive and all the things it can do. Because even if you have the grafts, you have the scars, your skin has an amazing ability to keep you alive, to regenerate and keep you alive. So take care of your skin. It's not worth it to be in the sun without sunscreen. Yep, you'll get plenty of vitamin D. It's okay. Put
Mm-hmm.
the use any kind of sunscreen you can. Use your best judgment to stay out of the heat. And moisturize, whatever your age. And
Yep.
just enjoy
Burn
your skin.
survivor with facial burns or not, you
Yep.
moisturize and take care of your skin.
Your whole
Yep.
body has to be moisturized, taken care of. And yeah, and really, burn survivor, don't let it get stuck if you're watching and you're not a burn survivor, because this is just sensitive, textured, hyperpigmented skin.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a
Def-
combination of other skin types. It's still skin.
mm-hmm.
It's not a category of its own. So you can definitely heal it and get it back to a place where you're really happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Tanya. Crystal's on here. One last quick comment we'll pull up. She said, I appreciate you sharing all of this with us tonight. Thank you so much, Tanya. Stay cool and have a great summer.
You too. I'm gonna go to the PARK with my visor, with my hand visor.
I love that. Well, just a reminder to anyone listening or watching this, sign up for our updates at phoenix-society.org/summer. I'll be sending out all of Tanya's products that we mentioned tonight, along with a bunch more. So make sure you're subscribed. I'll also link the PDF in the comments below here. So if you're watching this later or you didn't get the email, you can still access those. So thank you again so much, Tanya, for coming on. I know we'll have you on again, so this is not a goodbye. It's just a see you later. And
This is
thanks so much.
You are more than welcome. And y'all just remember that. Well, I was gonna say, the one thing, but you're beautiful. All your makeup and skincare is for you, and you're beautiful, and it always gets better.
Yeah,
This too shall pass.
I love it. Well, thank you again. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye, y'all. Love you. Thanks, Rachel.